Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're jumping into the law that basically wrote the first rulebook for India's entire digital world, the Information Technology Act of 2000. It's the foundation for pretty much everything you do online. So think about this. Before the year 2000, questions like these were really tough to answer. I mean, is an email legally the same as something in writing? Does a digital signature hold up like one in ink? The internet was basically a brand new frontier, kind of a digital Wild West with no sheriff and no clear rules. And that's exactly why Parliament stepped in and passed the Information Technology Act. The main idea was simple: give some real legal muscle to e-commerce and online communication. Build a framework of trust so that businesses and people could feel secure doing things online. All right, so job number one for this new act was absolutely crucial. It had to make the digital world legally equal to the physical one. It had to make bits and bytes count just as much as paper and ink. So how'd they do it? Well, the act got straight to the point. A key section made it official. If any law, anywhere, required something to be in writing, an electronic version would now legally count. Just like that, this one rule gave real legal weight to emails, digital files, you name it. Of course, what's a document without a signature, right? So the next logical step for the act was to give legal recognition to electronic signatures. This basically made them the digital twin of signing something with a pen, and it opened the door for secure online contracts and all kinds of transactions. So how does this actually work? Well, the act lays out a super secure method using something called an asymmetric crypto system. In simple terms, you use your own unique private key to sign something digitally. Then, anyone can use your public key to check that it's legit. This whole process proves two really important things: authenticity, that it was really you who signed it, and integrity, that the document hasn't been tampered with since. Okay, so let's switch gears. Once the digital world was legally real, the act then had to define what was illegal in this new space. This meant writing a whole new chapter in the rulebook, this time for cybercrime. And this created a whole new list of digital no-nos. For the very first time, things like identity theft became a specific crime. The act also took aim at privacy violations, making it illegal to, say, capture and share invasive images of someone without their consent. But it also defined much more serious offenses with way bigger consequences. And what's the most severe punishment under these new digital laws? Life in prison. Yeah, that's reserved for what the act calls cyber terrorism. This covers any kind of unauthorized hack or computer access that's meant to threaten India's unity, security, or sovereignty. This penalty shows just how seriously these new digital threats were being taken right from the very beginning. The act also started to regulate the content itself. It made publishing obscene material online illegal. Now, the legal definition of obscene is pretty specific. It's anything that appeals to a prurient interest, which basically means an unhealthy fascination with sexual stuff or anything that could deprave and corrupt the people who see it. That language became the benchmark for judging online content. Okay, so if we've got digital rules and digital crimes, who are the enforcers? Who are the referees on this new playing field? Well, the act actually created a whole new regulatory structure to handle all of this. The act basically set up three main types of referees. First, you have the certifying authorities, who handle digital identity. Then you have intermediaries, think ISPs and social media sites, who manage the flow of data. And finally, you have government agencies, who have the power to enforce the rules. Let's break down how each one works. First up, certifying authorities. The easiest way to think of them is as digital notaries. They're licensed organizations that issue and verify those electronic signatures we were just talking about. Their job is to be that trusted third party who confirms you are who you say you are online, and they're all overseen by a central boss, the controller. Now, this is a big one. What about the intermediaries? Your social media platform, your internet service provider, are they on the hook for what their users post? Well, the law gives them a safe harbor. Usually, they are not liable for what other people do on their platforms. But, and this is a huge but, they lose that protection if they are found to be in on an illegal act, or, more importantly, if they get notified about illegal content and don't expeditiously remove or disable access to it. And finally, we have the government itself. Some key sections of the act give central and state governments some really significant powers. If it's a matter of national security, public order, or India's sovereignty,
They can order an agency to intercept, monitor, or even decrypt any information on any computer. They can also force an intermediary to block public access to certain information entirely.
So that's the foundation. But we all know the internet of the year 2000 is worlds away from the one we use today. So how has this foundational law evolved, and where does it stand now? The act that passed in 2000 was really just the starting line. A huge update came in 2009, which brought in many of the specific cybercrime rules we've discussed and jacked up the penalties. But technology moves fast, and ever since, the law has been in a constant game of catch-up. And that brings us right to this moment. There's no doubt the core ideas of the IT Act 2000 built the legal bedrock for India's entire digital economy. But now, as we're facing down completely new challenges, things like artificial intelligence, deepfakes, and massive disinformation campaigns, the big question we're left with is this: is a framework designed for the dial-up era truly ready for what's coming next?